Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Everyone here at Sophie's and for you at home. Thank you for joining our Sunday morning meditation with the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living. We're happy you're here. My name is Michelle Love, and I will be facilitating a mindfulness meditation on restoring our connection to nature. First, I just wanted to read that this is coming from Richard Louv, an author. It's been said that the average American spends about 90% of their time indoors and about 11 hours per day looking at some type of screen, whether TV, computer, Kindle, or cell phone. Richard Louv, in his book, Last Child in the Woods, refers to a term he's coined nature deficit disorder. In a nutshell, it's the diminishment of our ability to interpret the natural world through our senses as a result of our overbusy, electronic, increasingly cyber lifestyles. In a later book titled The Nature Principle, Reconnecting with Life in a Virtual Age, he explores with urgency the necessity for our connection to the natural world, for ourselves, our families, our communities, and for the future of life on our planet. He says, every day, our relationship with nature, or the lack of it, influences our lives. This has always been true. But in the 21st century, our survival, or thrival, will require a transformative framework for that relationship, a reunion of human with the rest of nature. The nature principle holds that a reconnection to the natural world is fundamental to human health, well-being, spirit, and survival. He explores research that describes the restorative power of nature, its impact on our senses and intelligence, on our physical, psychological, and spiritual health, and on the bonds of family, friendship, and the multi-space community. Reconnecting with the natural world helps create a feeling of being fully alive as we are immersed in all that aliveness that surrounds us. One of the symptoms of this disorder is place blindness, the loss of the ability to interpret land or have a relationship to land and take in cues from the natural world through our senses. The antidote to place blindness is to find a spot in nature that you can intentionally visit and revisit while practicing a mindfulness meditation involving your senses. It can be your own backyard, a park, near the ocean, whatever spot is conducive to you for this connection. So for the purposes of today's meditation, being indoors, we'll use our imagination and our mind's eye to rehearse our mindfulness meditation as a means of remembering, rekindling the importance of our connection with nature. So at this time, I invite you to close your outer eyes and ignite your mind's eye. Let's take a moment to become fully present in our bodies, letting go of anything pressing that existed prior to this moment now. Whether sitting or lying down, begin to take some deep breaths as you settle in. Breathing in deeply through the nose, hold for a second, then exhaling fully through the mouth. Let's take 3 of these deep cleansing breaths. With a quick scan of our bodies, head to toe, notice any areas of tightness or holding on. Let it go. Relax into your body. Allow your breath to clear your mind. You will now choose your spot in nature for this meditation. Maybe it's a place you've been to before that brought peace just being there. Or maybe a meadow tucked away near the base of a mountain. Or sitting in a shady spot near a creek or river. Or maybe it's the solitude of the woods in winter. Wherever that place is for you, arrive there. Finding a spot that feels safe and inviting, take a few moments to get comfortable. Fully arrive. Once situated, continue to take a few more deep breaths, feeling your body relax with each exhale. How good it is to be here. What an amazing gift to allow yourself this time to just be with nature, to behold and remember the beauty of our planet and not just its woes. Simply breathe in all of this splendor. Breathe out anything you don't need in this moment. Be here now. With eyes closed, listen to the sounds closest to you in your chosen spot. Maybe there's waves or birdsong. Maybe water meandering over rocks in the creek. Maybe there's wind. Can you hear it rustling in the trees? Become aware of these sounds of life all around you, knowing that you are intricately connected to all life, all of this life, right here, right now. Breathing deeply, allow this perfect present moment to fill your being with peace. Listen for the silence between sounds, just as full as the sounds themselves. Breathe. Let's move now to your sense of smell. As you breathe, what can you smell? The perfume of summer flowers, maybe? The damp earthiness, nearness of the land beneath you? Salt air? Pine? Become aware of and feel gratitude for this sense of smell, further orienting you to your spot in nature. Continue breathing deeply, taking in the scent of life in your chosen spot. Continue listening for the rustle of life all around you. What do you feel? Is there a breeze? Is it blowing your hair around? Is it causing God bumps? Is the sun shining? Are you in the coolness of shade or drinking in the sunshine? Spend a few moments in the awareness of physical sensations as you are being in this spot. Feel the support of the earth below you. Can you feel enveloped by all this life around you? All part of this moment now, never to be repeated in exactly the same way as right now. You and everything around you are in relationship, sharing an experience of life. Allow yourself to just be here now. There is no time. There is no agenda. There are no problems. Just you and your surroundings peacefully coexisting in an exquisite moment. You are alive. You've given yourself to the naturalness surrounding you, and nature is reciprocating in kind. You are one with all of it. The nature of you is the nature that surrounds you. Let's spend the next few minutes breathing, being one with nature, with a music background. As you begin to bring your attention back into your body, the invitation is to take this mindfulness meditation to a place in nature and include in your meditation a visual, spending time really looking at everything around you, really acknowledging the connection between the nature that you are and the nature that you're surrounded by. Let's take this into the days of our week coming forward, a reminder of that piece. Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope that you'll stay tuned at 10:15 for our Sunday service. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living. We're so very happy that you've decided to join us today. Whether or not you are here at Sophie's Grill and Bar or you've invited us into your homes through the power of live streaming, we're very glad that you are with us. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Dusty Rippelmeyer, and I happen to have the privilege and the honor of being this community's spiritual director. We are part of a larger organization called Centers for Spiritual Living. And at Centers for Spiritual Living, we believe that there is one power and presence back of everything that there is. Some of us call this presence God, some call it first cause, some call it love, some call it Buddha, some call it love and peace. You know, it goes by very many different names. But it is a power and a presence that is within us and surrounding us, a power and presence that is available to us, that is more than able, willing, and available to give us the kingdom of heaven on earth, to support us and sustain us, feed us, fuel us, guide us, and guard us. We also believe that since we were created in its image and likeness, and since it is creative, then we too have this ability to create. And in fact, we are creating the experiences of our lives every minute of every day, whether we know that we're doing it or not, whether we're doing it consciously or whether we're doing it unconsciously. And for me, I think that's the really good news, because if I don't exactly like the experience that I'm having right now, then I know that it is within my power to change that, change your thinking, change your life. And so we come together on Sundays and Wednesdays and for classes and for social events to support each other as we walk our spiritual path. And so we're very glad that you have joined us today. Today is a special day, and we'll get to all of that later, but because of that, I'm doing the announcements up front, and I'm going to give the Reader's Digest version of the announcements. So the first is that today we're celebrating August's birthdays. So we do what's called a lunch bunch, and we're going to stay here at Sophie's. So everyone that's here is certainly invited to stay and have lunch with us. And all y'all that are out there, if between the time that the end of the service happens and you click off your television, if you can get down here, come on down and join us. Maybe it'll be for dessert, but whatever it is, please come and join us. The second is that we still have a few seats left for our August get-together, and our August get-together is a Durham Bulls game. So if you're one of the first 25 to register, you will be able to sit along that first base side with all of the people from your community and cheer on the Durham Bulls against the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. I don't know if they're any good or not, but it's an interesting name. So yeah, the game starts at 6:30. We usually gather around 6 o'clock right out in the front, so that all of tickets are all electronic nowadays. So I'll have all of the tickets with me. But if you would like to join us, grab one of those few seats that are left. Please contact Heather at, which one do you want them to contact you at, Heather? Info at trianglecsl.org. Info at trianglecsl.org. Now, this is our last Sunday here. And again, we're going to talk about that a little bit more later. But so next Sunday will be our inaugural event at our new manifestation of the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living. And we will be at 4 Points by Sheraton over by the airport. It will be a different day, a big day. We've got lots of music, some congregational songs. We'll have a chamber of prayer. We'll have a ritual. We'll have just an opportunity to come back together. We're calling it the homecoming. And we would love for everyone who has been unable for one reason or another to join us while we have been here at Sophie's to come and join us next Sunday at 4 Points by Sheraton. It's really a wonderful opportunity for us all to gather back together, to see each other, to give each other a hug, and to be in each other's presence, to be in community the way that community was meant to be in person. So We will also be having a potluck. I know you all love your potlucks. So we will be having a potluck. We have the ability to stay in the area that we're in until a little bit later, but you need to remember that we don't have any way to heat anything up, so you have to bring it hot already, and we don't have anything way to keep anything cold. If you have a cooler and you want to bring that, then people could share it. That would be great. But the room is air conditioned, of course, so it will last if you just bring it in and it just sits in the room with us. Don't leave it out in your car. So let's raise the roof. Let's raise the roof as we come back together, and bring a friend that you think is like-minded and might want to be in community with other like-minded people. I have a message from our outreach ministry for the community, and they just want to say thank you for your wonderful community support and for your participation in the Backpack Buddies program through Guardian Ad Litem. So we just had that going on in July. With your donations of supplies and your donations of money, they were able to raise $648. And with that money, they were able to fill 22 backpacks for high school students. So your generosity was really greatly appreciated. Thank you all so very much for participating in that. And we have 2 flower dedications this morning. The first is, of course, the first Sunday of the month. And the first Sunday of the month, we always celebrate the birthdays that happen to fall during that month. So today, we are celebrating the birthdays that are in August. Now, if you were born in August, see if this sounds like you. People born in August are born with so many leadership traits like boldness, charisma, and loyalty that it's no wonder that they make great trailblazers. They are self-motivated, confident, highly organized, practical, reliable, and can overcome difficult situations without losing their enthusiasm. They are energetic, mentally and physically strong, and drive themselves and others around them. Did you think I was going to say crazy? Making them perfect for leadership roles. People born in August are generally hardworking. They tend to look for creative and satisfying jobs. They are more likely to prefer jobs like CEOs, manager, or editor, nurturing their leadership skills, power, and disposition. High on enthusiasm and energy, you will find them self-motivated and hopeful. You would never want to lose a generous, magnanimous, loyal, optimistic, honest, protective, strong-willed, and ambitious Leo, and a truly hardworking, helpful, patient, reliable, analytical, intelligent, honest, perfectionist, and observant Virgo at any costs. Romantic by nature, the August-born person loves being pampered with roses and expensive gifts in their relationships. Well, today they're getting sunflowers. Get over it. They're intensely affectionate, warm, and amorous. They make the best partners. Be it a friendship or relationship, you can trust them as much as you trust yourself, for they are the most genuine and loyal people in your lives. August-born people have an outgoing personality. They are confident, kind-hearted, full of vim and vigor, and possess a zest for life. They can easily talk to people and get along with them as well. With them in your circle, there is an unlimited amount of fun. They are outgoing and great conversationalists. Although they love being the center of attention, they are also empathetic listeners. Although they are outgoing, August-born people tend to be private regarding sensitive issues and need me time now and then. They open up only to those they trust the most and can often be introverted at their best. So please join me in, is there anybody here in the room right now that has an August birthday? Yeah. Sandy, Hart, Babs, Michelle, lots. All right, that's awesome. So please join us afterwards for the lunch bunch as we celebrate their birthdays with them. We will do our second flower dedication later in the morning. But for now, I would just like to thank Michelle Love, one of our licensed practitioners, for her beautiful meditation this morning that expanded the container that our service will unfold within. So please thank Michelle and welcome her back to the podium.
Thank you, Dusty. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Wow, full house. I love it. And welcome to those of you that are watching at home. Our theme for the year 2022 is Living Everyday Wonder. Our theme for the month of August is Nature. Reverend Dusty's talk title today is Look to Nature. I'm going to read this community's purpose statement. This is our reason for being here. Our purpose is to inspire, educate, and empower individuals to experience themselves as unique and individualized expressions of God, the love intelligence that governs the universe. We are committed to not merely a theoretical understanding of our oneness and unity with God, but to consciously practice this truth in our everyday lives. Through celebration, service, study, and fellowship, we are committed to the transformation of our personal lives into being a powerful and beneficial presence on the planet. With the energy of unconditional love, simply, we are here for God. And so it is. So now I invite you to close your outer eyes, and we'll spend just a few moments turning within, fully arriving here in this moment now. Open your heart and mind and allow the healing sounds of the crystal bowls to simply wash over you.
I welcome you all to start bringing your attention back into the room and into your bodies. And I invite Hart and Betty to come up and help me. The Triangle Center for Spiritual Living honors the diversity and threads of truth that run through all spiritual paths as represented by this ceremony. Christianity is the path of Christ consciousness, love, and forgiveness. Buddhism is the path of compassion and understanding. Judaism is the ethical path of living by spiritual law. Baha'i is the path of unity and peace. Islam is the path of submission to the will of God, the highest calling. Confucianism is the path of tradition. Taoism is the natural way, the path of ultimate reality. Native American practice and shamanic traditions are the paths of primal spirituality. Shintoism is the path of tribal ancestry. Hinduism is the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. Science of mind and spirit is the path of the divine principle of love and law. And the heart represents the one heart, the one love that resides at the center of all people and all beings everywhere, with no exceptions. May peace prevail on earth through the followers of all paths. And so it is. Thank you, Hart and Betty. Now I invite everyone to close your eyes again as I speak a blessing on the service. What a magnificent morning as we center ourselves in the amazing spirit of life, that spirit that brings us all the joy, the truth, the love that is in, as, and through each of us. That is the most integral part of our congregation. And so I speak a blessing on this service and on our wonderful congregation as we gather together to celebrate another milestone in the life of this center. Our movement from this location to our new location, knowing with gratitude that we have derived amazing benefits from being here and the great gift that that has been, and the opportunity that the new center and its growth will afford everyone here. And I speak a blessing on Reverend Dusty as she brings her amazing spirit of love and joy to us all, and as she allows herself to be the container and of the truth, the light, and the love that she truly is. And I also speak a blessing on Sandy Hemingway as he brings his wonderful gift of music and song to us, which always uplifts and fulfills. And so I know that today is a blessing for all. And I'm so grateful for this, and I release this into the law of love. And so it is.
So it is.
And today's reading is from Ernest Holmes. He says, "When we establish within our thought a non-resistance to that power which is greater than we are at the same time accepting within ourselves a stability that is the stability of the universe. We find ourselves secure, for we know that we are a part of that which causes change but is never affected by any of the changes. As we gradually attain this sense of security, we will find that we view the changes that occur about us in proper perspective." So it is. And now, Sandy Hemingway.
Good morning, everyone. When I saw the talk topic was nature, this is a song I wrote a few years ago that I thought would be not only appropriate for that, but appropriate for our move from here to a new home. And I can say it's a new home because home is not a place, it is a people. This is called Eye of the Storm. Thank you for the storms that make me grow, even though I cannot see the light behind the clouds just now. Thank you for the trials that help me learn as I yearn to understand beyond what I can see. You are the peace at the eye of the storm. I release all the fear that I have worn. I embrace love forevermore. I am at peace. I am at peace as the eye of the storm. Thank you for the winds that rearrange and change the path that I was walking for so long was wrong. Thank you for the flood that washed away my pain. I'm letting go of all I used to be. You are the peace at the eye of the storm. I release all the fear that I have worn. I embrace love forevermore. I am at peace. I am at peace as the eye of the storm. I'm falling, falling, falling. I hear the future calling. I feel a new day dawning for my life. Thank you for erasing all my walls as they fall. My eyes have been reopened to the truth I knew. Thank you for the rising of the sun. I've begun to live the life I had always dreamed. I am at peace in the eye of the storm. I release all the fear that I have worn. I embrace love forevermore. I am at peace. I am at peace as the eye of the storm.
All right, Sandy, thank you so very much. That was absolutely beautiful. I can't believe that you just wrote it. It was really more than you know, absolutely perfect for this day's message and for the day in general. So thank you again so very much. So today we are celebrating our last service here at Sophie's Grill and Bar. It marks a moment of change for our community and an opportunity to dive deeply into a conversation about change. Change in our own lives, not only collectively as the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living, but for each of us as individuals. Life happens, right? Life happens. And what happens throughout life again and again and again is change. Some changes are the result of biology or the passage of time in alignment with a particular natural cycle or the right order of things. Others are self-generated, coming from our own will or our own control, or through the experience of an encounter with a loved one, such as a family member or a friend or a colleague, while still others occur as a result of a circumstance. Now, all of life is change. The changes may be subtle, and they could be gradual. They could be easy and welcomed, and they might be difficult and demanding. We may meet the change with grace and with acceptance, or we may meet the changes with protest and resistance. Either way, if we are being honest with ourselves, we would have to say that we are continually in transition, that change is always happening within our lives. Although fear of the unknown and what may happen typically accompany the process of change, there can also be really a lot of great benefits to change. Now, some of those benefits can include a new opportunity or a new beginning. It could include growth or clarity or freedom or healing. Change has the ability to create a space for the better or the best to come in, for us to actually be able to live the life that we were created to live. Today, we're talking about really strengthening the practices of letting go, shedding the old, and thinking outside of the box. Now, those particular spiritual practices will really allow us to step into change in a really powerful way. Now, in a month whose theme, as Sandy said and Michelle read, is nature, and the talk title is Look to Nature, and this is our last Sunday here, so we're stepping into change. I thought that we would look to nature for some examples of the wisdom that it holds for us about change in our lives. So, for example, let's take the trees, right? Trees are beautiful, especially the trees here in North Carolina. I mean, I came from California, and, you know, people talk about the beauty in California, but man, when I got here, the green. As far as the eye can see, from the 9th floor of Duke Hospital, when I'd be working, I could just see green. And it is so incredibly beautiful. Now, the leaves, right, they're always guiding us through their seasonal cycles, right? They grow, they thrive, they change color, and then they fall. So the cycle repeats itself, and it continuously reminds us of the eternality of change. Always present, always there, always happening. Now, while the change from summer to fall to winter truly does signal a loss in nature, we don't really look at it that way, do we? Autumn actually shows us just how beautiful it can be to let things go. We may notice the spectacular beauty of the autumn trees and forget that the next step is that those leaves are going to be falling to the ground. When we're sitting there and we're looking at them, we're not thinking about that. Sometimes we forget that we too are natural beings, and that we and our lives have their own cycles. That there are times that we hold on, and there are times that we need to learn to let go. When we do, when we let go of the things or the ideas or the thoughts or the beliefs or the feelings or the relationships we have that are no longer serving us, we really make room for new to come in, just like those trees. But while it seems beautiful for the trees to let go of all of those lovely leaves, we rarely think about letting go in our lives as something that's beautiful. We rarely think about that. More often than not, we see that letting go through the lens of loss. Through the lens of loss. It hurts to let go. And so we try really, really hard not to. Even when all we have left to hold on to is the memories of the experiences, or the memories of the feelings, or the memories of the relationships. In a book called Transitions, Making Sense of Life's Changes, the author William Bridges encourages us to not focus on what is lost, but on what is gained. To not think about change as the change from something, but to think about change as a transition into something. That small little word modification can make all of the difference in the world. Because now perhaps we can powerfully step into that change. Letting go is not an end. Letting go is a beginning. As seasons change, we are guided to learn acceptance and non-resistance. A green leaf doesn't resist becoming red as autumn approaches. And the trees don't resist their leaves falling as winter arrives. They stand deeply rooted in the ground with their vulnerability all out in the open and their arms spread wide, surrendering to the universe, knowing that it is always a universe that is always for them and never against them. Lao Tzu says, when I let go of who I am, I become what I might be. Another interesting way that nature shows us the wisdom in change is in the language of shedding. Shedding is another word that's used to describe this letting go process. And there are many, many, many different examples of shedding in nature. One comes in the story of a dragonfly nymph. It's a good story, y'all. The story says that one lovely spring morning, a little white egg cracks and opens on a reed stalk near the edge of a small lake. A tiny creature emerged from the egg and steps out onto the reed stalk. It was a dragonfly nymph. Soon it moved about in the water in search of food. It learned how to live there with the other nymphs, and it grew to be about 2 inches long. For a time, the little nymph lived happily beneath the water of the lake. It knew no other life and dreamt of no other world. Content and happy, it ate its food, and it enjoyed living. Then one day, the nymph saw a slender reed growing up through the water. Now, this was something that he had seen time and time again, but he had barely given it any thought. This day, it was different. It was as though he had seen this reed for the very first time. He wondered where it went and what was at the top. Crawling over it, he started to climb. Some of the other nymphs watched him as he did so. Slowly he climbed until the nymphs at the bottom of the lake could see him no longer. As he progressed up the reed stalk, the water became lighter and lighter and warmer and warmer. This was something new and exciting. Eagerly, the little nymph hurried on. Nothing could have stopped him. Nothing could have turned him back. Finally, he left the water. He felt very warm and the light was dazzling. It was the sunshine, of course, but the little nymph had never seen or felt the sun before. This was a whole new world for him. For some time, he stayed perfectly still at the top of the reed. And then something happened. The skin below his head, beneath his shoulders, split. And by drawing his head back a little bit, he was able to stick it out, to poke it out from that hole just a little teeny tiny bit. And then he took a little moment to rest. Then for another little while, he began to gradually wiggle a little bit. His skin felt tight and brittle, like a glove that's too small. He could not move freely. Little by little, he wiggled free, first two of his legs and then the other pair of his legs, until finally his whole body had crawled through that hole in the old skin. Now he could move. He stretched and he stretched. His body became much longer. A double pair of beautiful gossamer wings began to spread from his sides and dry in the lovely warm sunshine. Another change had taken place. The little brown nymph had become a really beautiful color. He was a completely new creature. He was now a dragonfly, and yet he was still himself. He was now living in a beautiful, golden, dazzling world of sunshine and air, full of things that he had never dreamt about while he was living underwater in the lake. Suddenly, he raised himself on his new wings to explore his wonderful new world. There on the reed stalk was the empty skin out of which he had crawled. It was complete in every detail, but now it was an empty shell. It had served him well as he lived at the bottom of the lake, but now the dragonfly had no further use for it. He had a new body and new wings to use in this new world. A snake casts off its old skin so that it can grow and evolve. A caterpillar creates the chrysalis and then sheds the chrysalis on its way to becoming a butterfly. Something within them let them know that it was time. Something within that dragonfly nymph let him know that it was time. So that in that moment, looking up at that reed, it looked like it had never looked before. And he was curious. Something from within him compelled him to do that. When we shed our old ways, outdated beliefs, and old habits that no longer serve us, we are also releasing things so that we may evolve. And like that dragonfly, the snake, and the caterpillar, something within us will let us know that it is time if we are willing to reverently listen for and to that inner voice. Joseph Campbell says, we must be willing to let go of the life that we have planned so as to accept the life that is waiting for us. Stepping into the life that is waiting for us requires us to change our relationship with change. For the most part, fear, doubt, and worry always accompany us in this process of change, or even sometimes when we're just thinking about change. Few of us are really very comfortable with change, and yet the reality is that we live in an impermanent world. And because of that, we have to be willing to leave our comfort zones. We have to be willing to leave the familiar situations, the old habits, and the ways of thinking that will ultimately hold us back. As I look to nature, I think about the Emperor Nautilus. Just a little, I'd have Vanna show it, but think about it in your own mind's eye, right? There's a beautiful spiraled shell divided into increasingly larger chambers. The Emperor Nautilus, or the chambered Nautilus, sometimes it's called. When it hatches from the egg, it has only 4 chambers. As it grows, it moves into the next larger space, and then it creates a wall. It walls off the space that it was in, the old chamber. As a symbol, the chambered nautilus is a powerful metaphor for our spiritual evolution. To learn and to grow requires that we think in a new and different way, that we think outside of the box. Like the Nautilus, once we've expanded our mind beyond the old box, we simply find ourselves in a new and bigger box, one in which we continue to grow and to evolve. We also find that once we have mentally moved into this new box, we can never go back to the smaller one. We can never go back to the smaller one. It simply does not fit us any longer. The Nautilus can never stay in the same chamber because it continues to get bigger. It must build bigger and ever bigger chambers for it to move into until the end of its life. And the truth is that the spiral suggests that it is never the end. There is no design for that last final chamber. Similarly, we must also never stop growing, learning, and expanding our view of ourselves and of our world. As chaotic as it may seem, there's a natural order to growth that we can count on. And I'm going to tell you, it always, I mean always, involves change. So today, as we yet make again another change in our community, I think it's important to reflect on that which we must let go of that which we wish to shed, and to really contemplate that which we wish to bring forward into our new adventure. This is things that Sandy sang about. What are we going to let go of individually and collectively? What are we going to shed? What are we going to bring with us into this new life? So in this moment, I invite everyone to just get settled in your chair, to feel the support underneath you, analogous to the support that we receive from the universe, from God. To close your outer eyes and take a deep breath, to turn within and to tap into your inner wisdom. In this moment, I invite each of us to ask ourselves, what are we willing to let go of as we move into our new adventure? What would we like to leave behind individually and collectively as the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living? I invite each of us to allow Spirit to reveal to us what that is. I now invite you to take another deep breath and to sink even deeper into that inner wisdom. Now ask, what do I wish to bring forward with me, both individually and collectively, as the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living into this new adventure? What gifts and talents do I have, or do we have, that will serve us well as we move our community to the 4 Points by Sheraton? Listen for that inner wisdom. When you are ready, please open your eyes. And when you sat at the table, the low tables or the high tables, there was a card there. And the card says gifts and talents on it. And there was 2 thin pieces of white paper. For those of you at home, you might want to get 2 pieces of paper for yourself. Now, on those 2 little white pieces of paper, I would like you to write what you want to let go of, what you wish to shed, to not take with you on this adventure moving forward. Use the front, use the back. We have more paper if you have anything, if you have a lot of things you want to let go of. And then on the card, I would like for you to write what you're bringing with you, what gifts and talents you have that you're bringing with you on this new adventure from this moment forward. And when you're ready, you can come up and you can put the thin white pieces of paper into this beautiful dish. You'll notice that it has like the spiral down at the bottom of it. I thought that was a good point. You can put that into this water. It is dissolvable paper, and those things are going to be gone. So a ritual to have them be gone, that you're letting them go powerfully. And then what I would like for you to do is to put your card in this box. This box will come with us to the 4 Points Sheraton, and will have a place of honor. And it will sit there as a reminder for all of us what we pledged today, what we intended today, what gifts and talents we have that we're bringing with us, not only into our individual lives, but also into the collective life of the community. So please, when you're ready, you could do that. Perhaps Heather could put a little music on. So in this moment, I invite everyone to turn within as I speak a word of prayer for each of us individually and collectively. Truly knowing, as I close my outer eyes and turn my attention inward, that presence, that power, that light of the divine that resides within me, and the deep connection that I have with it, a connection that can never be broken. I know that where I am, God is in its fullness and in its wholeness. And just as I know that this is my truth, I know that it is absolutely the truth of each and every person here today, each and every person sitting and watching us from at home. We are all one family, connected, united, one. And it is from that place of unity that I speak these words about and for each of us today, truly knowing that, like those things in nature that let go, that shed anything that is no longer serving them, we too can do that. And when we do, we powerfully step into a new world, into a new way of being in that world, a world that we had perhaps never even thought about before. A world that comes with everything we need to really thrive and to survive and to thrive within that new world, the wings, the beautiful colors, the openness for new. I claim ease and grace for us around powerfully stepping into change, changing our relationship with change to one that welcomes it in, to one that has no resistance, that allows the natural order of things to happen, to take place, and that we can look forward with gratitude and with excitement and with joy, knowing that we are always moving into that next expression, into that larger and larger chamber, into that higher and higher way of being, and not willing or able to go back. We continue to move forward, to evolve, to transform, and become all that we were created to be. I'm so grateful to know this truth and to speak these words. So grateful for the power of prayer, knowing that these words are loosed into a law that only ever says yes, that my words are clothed in form even as they are spoken. And so I speak them and I release them with love and gratitude and full expectation of their manifestation. Letting go and letting God be God. I invite each of us to anchor this prayer for ourselves, for each other, for our community, and for the world, simply by saying, and so it is. And so it is. So Sandy is now going to sing. And for those of you that know the song, please sing along with him.
There was a time in my life I thought I'd have to do it all for myself. Didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. Didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling through the day to make it through, you got to let it go. Let it all go. And this is what you have to say. I release and I let go. I let my spirit run my life. In my heart I'm open wide. 'Cause I'm only for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. In my heart I'm open wide. I'm only for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So now I have a little story of my own. A little over a year ago, our Leadership Council President, Rebecca Fouts, was hankering for an IPA. Sorry, I outed you. She knew of a restaurant near her home where she thought she could get one. So she stopped at Sophie's Grill and Bar. While Rebecca was there, the owner, Desi, came over and struck up a conversation with her. There was an immediate connection. Out of that initial unbidden chance meeting, an offer was extended. An offer for our community, the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living, to use the restaurant for our Sunday services. Desi said, "We don't open until 1. You should just have your services here. Use the restaurant before we open." Rebecca explained to her that in the moment we could not pay her a lot. And Desi replied that she had not said anything about money, that many people had been very supportive of her during COVID, and that she wanted to give back in some way. The bottom line is that she has been generously giving back for well over a year, and we have been the very appreciative recipients of her generosity for that entire time. We have been blessed week after week after week. During a time of transition and change, I think it's always important to be grateful for all of the wonderful things that life has provided for us. So today, as we say goodbye to Sophie's Grill and Bar, our home away from home for the last year, I am acutely aware that it has been an amazing space and place to be in. I'm grateful for Desi, Nellie, Dolly, and Simeon, and everyone who has graced our current sanctuary with their presence. I'm grateful for the opportunity that we have had to come together after a year of holding services online, an opportunity to once again experience the joy of community live and in person, something that cannot be experienced unless we are in the same room. I'm grateful for the opportunity that we had for visitors to come and to find us and to be wrapped up in the blanket of our warmth and our love, knowing that the law can always be explained intellectually and can always be explained online, but the love, like a hug, must be felt. So the bottom line is that there are not enough words to adequately express our gratitude. So in this moment, I invite Desi and Nellie and Dolly and Simeon, if they are here, to come up here. So since we can't say it in words, let's stand and give them a standing ovation. For their generosity, their kindness, and their love. Now please raise your hands out to them and repeat after me. We see you. We know who you really are. We appreciate all that you have done for us We thank you for being you. We set a collective intention for your continued success. We promise to visit when we can. And we want you to know that we love you. Thank you. Now we have to let Desi go because she really doesn't like this. Thank you. And set up some plates because we're staying for lunch bunch. Okay, Dolly? All right. Bye, sweetheart. All right, love you. It is now time for our conscious giving. The Triangle Center for Spiritual Living is sustained by the giving of time, talent, and treasure. This is a time every week when we offer financial support to really assist this community to continue to be a beacon of light and love in the greater Triangle area. Together we affirm that today's offering lifts this spiritual community, prospers the one giving, and contributes to the experience of sufficiency on the planet. There are several ways that you can give, and they're here on the screen. Visit our website, trianglecsl.org. Go to a text to give at 919-230-8445, or mail your gift to our office at PO Box 4062, Cary, North Carolina 27519. Now, please place your hand with your gift or without your gift over your heart with perhaps an intention that blesses this community, and please repeat our offering affirmation in a call and response. I live in an abundant universe that blesses and prospers my life. I give with gratitude, knowing that God is my source. And so it is. I would also like to say that I didn't say is that these flowers here are for Desi and her staff also. So the second flower dedication. Please welcome Babs, Barbara Kane, back up to the podium.
Whew, that was awesome. Okay, in the comfort of your own home or here, let's stand for this month's August affirmation. And it's a call and response, and it's here on the screen. I am one with all of life on planet Earth.
I am one with all of life on planet Earth.
Deeply connected with all of nature, I am grateful for the waters of life that sustain me.
Deeply connected with all of nature, I am grateful for the waters of life that sustain me.
Truly believing that God is all there is, I know that all of my life is sacred.
Truly believing that God is all there is, I know that all of life is sacred.
Knowing that all life is sacred, I say yes to deepening my connection with all of it.
Knowing that all life is sacred, I say yes to deepening my connection with all of it.
Affirming that everything on the planet is a vital part of this living ecosystem, I choose to live harmoniously with all of it.
Affirming that everything on the planet is a vital part of this living ecosystem, I choose to live harmoniously with all of it.
Today, I report for duty to nature and protect planet Earth.
Today I report for duty to nurture and protect planet Earth.
Or nature, whatever. I'm still crying a little bit, so I can't see. I join like-minded individuals in support of a worthy and noble cause.
I join like-minded individuals in support of a worthy worthy and noble cause.
And all is well.
And all is well.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Okay, lovely people, one more time, let's close our eyes. And I recognize the magnificence of spirit, the magnificence of the joy and love that's in our community. And with gratitude, I know that this ending chrysalis is the beginning to flying free. And so it is.
And so it is. Oh, thank you all so very much for being here, for really giving Desi I guess it's not a send-off. She's not going anywhere. We are, whatever you call that. Could I have a show of hands? How many people are going to stay for lunch so we can let them know? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, maybe about 15 or so, 14 or 15. All right, that's awesome. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you all for being with us. Have a really magnificent week. We'll see you next week for our homecoming service at 4 Points by Sheraton. Have a great week. I love you all.